Welcome, skateboarders from all over the world. We are live from Salt Lake City, Utah. This is Tony Hawk's Vert Alert 2023. The Delta Arena opened their doors, cleared the floor for us to put the most perfect ramp on planet Earth, smack dab in the middle of where the Utah Jazz would normally be playing. But today, it's all about vert skating. We're going to start with our women's finals. And if practice is any indication of what we're about to see, you're about to watch the greatest show on vert. And that is a Tony Hawk approved catchphrase. So as our skaters get warmed up, we'll give you all the information you need. I am Chris Cote, this is Paul Zitzer, and that's Lindsay Pastrana. How does this all happen? Let's take a look at the nuts and bolts of Tony Hawk's Vert Alert for our women's final. So it's an organized jam, meaning these skaters take turns. They're on a list, one skater at a time. If you fall, the next skater drops in. All skaters are going to get equal runs. So regardless of how much time has gone by, every skater is going to get the same amount of runs on the ramp. You're going to be judged by your overall impression. So basically think of this as a session. Whoever wins the session is going to take home $10,000. And the judges, well, we've got some of the best in the business, and they're looking at all these words, Paul. What do these words mean to the judges?
It means a lot, but first of all, Lincoln Ueda, Mike Frazier, and Jason Rothmeyer are our three judges. They know what they're doing. They are looking for great skateboarding. That's what all these words on your screen essentially sum up. Skaters need to be committed to the tricks, get creative, use the ramp, basically shred it and be hyped and get the crowd on their feet.
Yeah, sums it up.
I think it's about standing out too, right?
Yeah,
standing out in this crowd. And here's the crowd we're talking about. Dora Varella, Bryce Wettstein, Juno Matsuoka, Arisa Trew, Lilley, Raicca Ventura, Reese Nelson, and Asahi Kaihara. So there's your international field. I mean, we've got East Coast, West Coast represented, Japan, Brazil, Canada, Australia. So you couldn't have picked a more global field. And I'll tell you, the ages are probably the most shocking aspect of what's happening here. Pretty much every skater in this final is either under a teenager or just barely. So
yeah, I did the math,
movement.
And the average age is 15.
There you go.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing.
Dora Varella from Brazil is the veteran of the squad at 21.
Yeah, that's... I mean, I skated the Legends demo at 33.
Well, we can talk about it all morning long. We're getting hyped, and with that, it's time. Our riders are on deck. It's time to make it official. I'm going to throw it up to the legend himself, Wolfmate Jason Ellis.
Hello, everybody. How are we this afternoon? I'm Jason Ellis. Welcome to Tony Hawk's Vert Alert. This is the women's finals, and we're going to have the men's finals, and we're going to have best trick, and you're going to see the greatest skateboarding that exists on the planet today. Today. I can say it twice, I'm allowed to. So I hope you guys are ready to have your minds blown, because that's what's going down. Trust me on that one. I will pass it over to my man, the reason this whole thing exists. Give it up for my good friend, Tony Hawk, everybody.
Thanks, Jason. What's up, Salt Lake City? How are you? Thank you for coming out again to support us. This is our third year for Vert Alert. This is our third year in Salt Lake City. This is our biggest one by far since we're at the Delta Center, moving up in time. And I just really want to thank all the skaters that came out, made the effort to travel here, all the legends that were ripping last night, especially to Ryan Smith for letting us come into his home here at the Delta Center. And to Jeff Robbins of the Utah Sports Commission for supporting this event from day one. Even when it was just an idea, he was supportive of it and said, I want to bring that to Salt Lake City. And here we are in our third year. So thank you, everybody. Thank you to everyone, all of you for traveling here. And hey, get ready for some women's finals. Best vert skating you'll see to date. And men's finals after that, best trick, it's all happening. Enjoy. Do a kickflip.
Give it up for Tony Hawk, everybody. Doing the 540 yesterday, making me blow my lungs out. Kind of lost my voice, I have a headache. So thank you, Tony Hawk, for doing that. All right, let's get in with the women's final. I'm gonna name all these ladies off. This is a jam format, so as soon as the first person goes, they go until they fall off. Everybody knows the list. They go one after the other. First up is Dora Varella. Say hello to Dora. Then we have Ruby Lilley from Oceanside. And then we have Bryce Wettstein. Bryce. Raicca Ventura from Brazil. Where's she at? There she is. And then we have from Japan, Juno Matsuoka. Say hello. And then all the way from Canada, we got Reese Nelson. Say hello to Reese Nelson. And all the way from the Outback, oh mate, Arisa Trew. Give it up for Arisa Trew, everybody. And last but not least, we have Asahi Kaihara. Where are you at? There she is. All right, girls, whenever you're ready, we'll start with Dora. Let's get this going. Utah, make some noise. This is the women's final. Tony Hawk's Vert Alert.
It's officially on. It's going down here at the Delta Arena. Tony Hawk's Vert Alert. We start off with Dora Varella, 21 years old, from Sao Paulo, Brazil. So, Paul, I'm going to ask you right off the bat, do you start with every hard trick you know how to do and then figure it out later, or do you try to amplify as you go along?
You know, I wouldn't start with every hard trick I know how to do, but I'm not a great contest skater. It looks like she came in real hot.
Yes.
Wow.
In that run, she put it down.
That was an incredible run.
So the order of this jam is the order in which they qualified. So Dora was just squeezed into the final yesterday, and now this is Ruby Lilley.
Dang.
And she ripped. Such a technical lip trick skater. Great style also.
Did you see the height on those airs in the beginning? I just love that skaters are so well-rounded these days. It used to be like you're kind of a lip trick skater and you're kind of an air person, and now they just do everything.
I love the variation of styles that we're going to see in this women's final. And I'm loving that North County San Diego represented well by two skaters.
Yes.
You got Ruby from Oceanside, Bryce coming up next from Encinitas, but I think Ruby got the memo. Come out and go off.
It is San Diego is the mecca of vert skateboarding around the world, always has been. And there you go.
Yeah.
Two great runs to start things off here.
So overall impression is what the judges are looking for. They're going to watch every trick from beginning to end. They're going to compare these runs to all the other runs they're about to see. And our leaderboard is going to start filling up. So these opening runs are very important. That's the first impression the judges see.
It is. It's important to come out and put down a great run. Bryce Wettstein has such great variety on the board.
Yes.
You don't know what you're going to get. She's the most unpredictable skateboarder on the road.
I think that she doesn't even know, and like until she's in it and doing it. And that's the thing about skating contests. Some contests are based off one run. So some of these athletes are going to go out there and they might actually do the same run every time. And even if it's the better run, it's overall impression. So, you know, there's some, who knows what the judges are going to think of that.
Was that a fakie
Also,
nothing?
Yes.
Like a fakie hippie jump, nothing, yes. Or the root beer float.
Is that what she calls it? Yes. Bryce is the most creative spirit you'll ever meet, and you can see that in her skating.
3 flawless runs to kick off this women's final. And this is Raicca Ventura from Brazil.
I love her just high flying, fast blasting, like just awesome style. She gives me a little bit of like Karen Joan vibes. You know, fellow Brazilian.
She skates with a lot of power and speed and cranks those airs.
So I know that the judges don't love seeing setup tricks, and I haven't really seen many. Is that a thing of the past?
I do feel like that is where we want quality, not just quantity, right? And so sometimes setup tricks are important because you need them to do the next trick properly. That's why they call it a setup trick. Get nuts. And these aren't timed runs, so just go.
All right, now we're back at it. Juno Matsuoka, 12 years old.
I just
and
can't
flying.
even believe that she's 12. Just the advanced skating that these kids are doing blows my mind.
Japan right now is a force to be reckoned with in every action sport. Snowboarding, skating, street skating, vert skating. Obviously, we're seeing it right now. And it is so rad to see. I mean, 12 years old, she's going to be competing for 20 more years.
Yeah.
The vert scene in Japan is so strong right now. It's crazy.
Based off just her composure on and off her board, I assume she was at least 18.
All right, you're about to see something special. This is Reese Nelson, and she is unlike any other skater I think we've ever seen.
I agree. Basically, think of being on Tony Hawk Pro Skater and just pushing all the buttons, and that's what her tricks are like. They blow my mind. Half the time I have no idea what they're even called. She's so good. You know, so consistent.
You're right. And last night in the Legends demo, we saw Mike Frazier, your favorite vert skater's favorite vert skater, and he pioneered a bunch of the tricks that now Reese Nelson just put in this line.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. Like the switch front rock.
I'm watching the faces of everyone around. Mike McGill's over here freaking out at what he just saw, as everyone is. And here we go. We're right back at it. Arisa Trew, your second highest qualifier and probably the highest flying.
Look at that.
Come on.
Wow.
13 years old.
Upside down textbook McTwist right there. That, like face high too.
And so
I have
consistent. I don't think I've seen her fall in practice, in qualifiers. And she's got 25 more minutes, and after putting down a run like this,
switch backside air. Oh my gosh.
She has so many tricks, it's crazy. She could put together 3 or 4 fully different runs.
Oh my gosh.
Unit.
I mean, what do you do from here?
Sometimes I watch her do that. Oh. And she gets so high, she misses her hand on the coping, and she don't even care.
The crowd is going berserk. Is there a time limit, or is it more of just kind of an unwritten rule? If you've gone for 15 walls, you might want to pull out?
Yeah, I think that some of the skaters will mentally know, like, okay, this many walls is about 30 seconds. I think the goal is about 30 seconds.
Oh, this is our #1 qualifier, Asahi Kaihara from Japan. Look at the power she skates with.
The power and the style. You know, there used to be kind of a stigma, oh, you have girl style, but now it's cool to have girl style. Look at her.
She has great style.
Yeah. Look at that kickflip Indy. Oh, my gosh.
You know, I think poise and grace is not often a word you think of when you think of skateboarding, but that's on display right now.
Yes.
I mean, there's no fear on this ramp. There's so much confidence. You can feel it every time these skaters drop in.
You're right. So we just went through the order one time, and almost every person popped out, did a full run, and smashed it.
We want to know who you are cheering for. We want to know what tricks you want to see. You can go to YouTube, Twitch, and Caffeine. Get in the chat. Ask us your questions now. Do you have a question for Lindsay Pastrana? Of course you do. Ask it to us, and maybe we'll answer it. And also, Paul knows like a lot of stuff about vert skating, so you can go deep with your questions.
So Ruby Lilley rolling in on the roll-in. Last night, Hasoi was saying, I don't know if I should say this, but he said he's never rolled down that roll-in.
Really?
How high is it?
Hasoi. It's like 5 foot, or maybe 6 foot over the deck. It's scary to be up there.
It's big.
So you know how gnarly that is.
So this is overall impression, so we will not have the winners until after this is over, but we can see kind of a heat sensor as to what the judges are thinking. And right now, it's pretty clear your top 3 qualifiers are currently most likely sitting in those top 3 spots: Asahi, Arisa, and Reese. But here we go back to Bryce. Bryce from Encinitas,
Yes,
California,
Bryce.
19 years old, stereo skateboard, represent. She had a
Wow,
mini
Cavalier.
vert ramp in her backyard and a iguana bowl. And it's
Right.
not for iguanas, it's for skateboard.
That's a dedicated
Skateboarders.
skate family.
There you go. There's your current standings. It's like the Tony Hawk special meter.
Yeah.
So Bryce has placed second at Vert Alert in the last 2 years.
Right.
She's only been beaten by 2 skaters that aren't in this final.
Oh,
right.
wow.
By
Okay,
default, she's
okay.
kind of in first place.
Oh, fakey shove it to rock.
She has such a cool bag of tricks. It's
So
ridiculous.
cool.
So for people that maybe aren't super knowledgeable about vert skating, some of the tricks that may not look as impactful as a giant air, but equally as difficult and sometimes even scarier to do, right? Lip tricks?
Yeah, well, I'd focus less on the difficulty than the fear factor. Just some of the lip tricks, they're just finicky. They're so hard to figure out, balance-wise, timing-wise,
Wow,
and then to be able to learn them every try, that's tough. And then a lot of the bigger tricks, like 540s, are a little easier in a way to wire. I don't know.
This is Raicca Ventura right now, and we cannot understate how big and gnarly that gap is.
Yes.
All right?
How scary it is.
And that was very sketchy, but I think the judges sometimes appreciate a little bit of sketch in the
Well,
flat bottom.
yeah, and part of the criteria that we saw earlier was commitment, like staying committed to the trick. Like, this is a little sketchy, but
Stay on.
I'm committed.
The kickflip indie she just did, coming in tuck knee and making it look awesome.
Yes.
That's rad.
She just bumped up in the judges' eyes for sure. Juno Matsuoka, 12 years old from Osaka, Japan.
This is a child, you guys. She's not even a teenager. And look at, she's bossing airs higher than her face.
Her style on the skateboard and clothing is awesome. She looks cool.
And you know how Mommy has that sick Smith grind? Juno has the same one. It's got the back foot tweak where
Yes,
only the
kickflip.
side of the shoe is on the tail.
That
Love it.
kickflip was not to be denied. She was not falling there.
No.
What
She was
fakie?
committed.
And for both of you guys, to get this good, you're gonna slam, right? I mean, you don't get this good without slamming. So this shows me grit and determination and perseverance with every run.
Yes. First, I'm going to point out how long this run has been going on. That
Yes.
must have been 20 walls, which is so hard because as you get tired, it starts to get really difficult. But as I was saying, I said this last night in the Legends demo, if you want to get it good on vert every day, you have to go with a willingness to end up in the hospital.
Okay.
End of story. So,
Wow,
yes.
Reese.
That trick over the freaking
channel.
gap is so gnarly.
Nobody does that.
540. Wow. Sometimes I just don't have the words. I just wow.
There may
Yeah.
not be words.
I would
Okay,
scream
good.
if
I'm glad that we're
Such
on
a
the same
sick no
page
slide
there.
fakie.
So you said Reese has she has some Colin McKay in her. She's got some
yeah.
Danny Way in her.
Yeah.
She's got some Mike Frazier in her. And if you're compared to those three skaters, that's something pretty special, right?
yeah, and you're 10.
Yeah. And that's who she skates with on a normal basis.
So there you go.
And Tony Hawk, who's pretty good.
Wow.
I did the McTwist to the straight frontside air over the channel. That gets me. The fact that she has that much speed and power out of a fully upside down McTwist.
And you're right, because that's not just an 8-foot channel, it's an 8-foot gap of like death. And if you aim wrong and if you aim wrong and end up in that gap, you can get jacked. Ask Sky Brown about that one.
Well, we do have a question from out there on internet.
Oh, there was one of those ones where she missed her hand, lands in flat, squats it out, does a switch air. Like, I just can't. My mind's blank.
Well, I got a question for you. Lindsay, Uncle Fatty says, what's the hardest fall you've ever had? Give us the quick fall rundown.
Ooh, I don't even know.
That's not a good question. Why, we don't want to bring that up, Uncle Fatty.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the 540 she did decades ago, the first female to ever do it.
Yeah, 2009. Like, these kids weren't even born. The majority of them were not born.
I was going to say, do you feel like you may have influenced this generation, but you're saying they were infants when you were skating
Yeah,
contests?
I don't even know. The fact that Reese could be my child, like my daughter turns 10 soon. She could be, maybe she is.
Well, if she's not doing 540s yet, just quit. Just kidding. This is to inspire you out there to skate for yourself. You know, all the hard work and commitment that these skaters have put in to get this good, you can do that too. You just gotta try, gotta get back out there. You don't have to skate vert, go skate a curb. This is to celebrate skateboarding and spread the joy.
Of skating curbs. I think that in the grand scheme of things, to answer the fall question, I was pregnant with my second daughter. My first daughter was 11 months old, and we were just skating on the sidewalk. She had her helmet on and everything. She was standing between my legs. We hit a crack, and we fall. I turned, I caught her, fell, broke my arm.
Babies were fine.
They were all fine,
busted.
but I definitely didn't skate anymore until after the pregnancy.
You took one for the team.
Yes.
Took
So
one
that
for
was
the
my
family.
hardest one. I thought we were being just so mellow on the sidewalk, but no.
Ruby is ripping right here.
I mean, I'm from also the same area, and I just didn't even know her until this weekend.
They're coming up so
fast.
It's psychotic. I'm starting to get convinced that you gotta just learn vert when you're super young, and you can get. I guess they're making it look like it's easy. I don't know.
They are making it look easy. My heart's just happy that kids want to skate vert. You know, because
If you skate it, if you drop in on a vert ramp and try and learn a trick, you're gonna be hooked.
oh yeah. I remember the first time I dropped in vert, my brother and Sean White and Rob Lorfus pushed me down, and I fell in, and I'm like, okay, that's the worst that could happen. I ran up, I dropped in, and then the next day I told my mom, I am not going to soccer. I need to go to the skate park.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that was it. I was hooked.
That was tough love they showed you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I
wow.
stood up there all day. They were sick of it.
Trial by fire.
Older brothers just, goodbye.
And now we are back to Raicca Ventura, obviously Brazil, and
Yes.
specifically Sao Paulo, a huge hotbed of vert rippers.
Absolutely. We've got Sandro Diaz, Lincoln Ueda, Ito. So many great vert skaters from Brazil. And Brazil's been a hotbed of vert since the 80s, really.
Yeah, they've always been up in there in the mix.
We're back to our 12-year-old skater from Osaka, Japan. This is Juno Matsuoka.
Just look at her power. You know, some people like say, oh, well, I'm small, I can't go high, but hi, she's very, very small, and she's blasting.
Yeah, at the end of the day, to blast on vert, you need a great technique. You can be as aggressive as you want, but if the technique isn't there, it's not going to get you there. She's got both, though. She's got the power and aggression and the technique, and it's so cool.
I feel like we're in probably the best time that's ever been to be a vert skating fan.
Yes.
Not only are we getting more and more events, but we're seeing this new generation take a lot of the traditional tricks, you know, kind of the meat and potatoes of vert skating, put those into their runs, but then switch it completely up, add street elements, switch elements to their runs. So we're kind of seeing the best of all worlds. And they're so young that this is the class, this is the generation that's going to change things.
I was going to say that the best time to be a vert skater was the 1980s, but the thing is, all those greats from the 80s are still here doing it, so now we have it all.
And you couldn't direct message Christian Hosoi in the 80s.
No.
And now we can. Hey, Hosoi, you're awesome. See Reese Nelson again, currently sitting around third place, but again, these standings, they're not official yet. So we just keep our eyes on there. But Reese right now, I mean, super technical.
Some of the things that amaze me about Reese is just, she's so comfortable going forwards, backwards, whatever. All of it.
You're right.
Front side, back side,
Switch.
front truck, back truck. I don't know, all of it.
Well, we knew it was going to be a really good battle between Reese and Arisa right here. They've been highly touted in the last year or two for just how amazing they are on their board.
Oh my gosh!
Come on, Varial.
Wow! She just did a Varial 5 and it looked easy. Wow. You guys, that was a best trick for many, many, many years on vert for the men. And she's 13. Oh my gosh.
I mean, we just saw the past, present, and future of vert skating right there in that one run.
You know, it's easy to focus on the 540s because they are incredible and just beautifully done. But look at all the variety she's packing into this run, and it's still going.
Have you seen a setup trick yet?
No.
No. Every wall was impactful. And yeah, for good reason, right to the top of the current standings with 11 minutes, 52 seconds ago. I got a chance to talk to Christian Asoy about how and why he picks the team riders he picks, and he says obviously there's skill, but it takes passion and respect, right? Respect for the craft, respect for the art form, and the culture. And I think he's got a solid couple of riders in this event right now with Dora and Arisa.
So he's saying it's more than just a bunch of tricks.
Yeah.
Thrown together on a ramp. You gotta be a rad skater that people want to watch and hang around.
And yeah, and he said you got to be a good person if you want to be on the Hosoi team.
I'm telling you, Asahi's style is so awesome. How could you not be a fan after this weekend? And she's smiling.
I was just going to say, when someone's doing it with effort and joy and passion, I mean, you can see it in how they skate. Every single one of our finalists has that right now. And they're all lifting each other up. They're all getting the best out of each other right now.
I'm basically just excited to go follow all of these people on Instagram. I just want to watch them and see their progression. And the fact that we live in an era where we can do that, you don't have to, you don't have to wait until some video comes out or you maybe by chance get to go to some event to watch them.
Well, it'll be fun between the the women's finals and the men's final. We're gonna have the chance to have some longer conversations with some of our skaters to find out a little bit more about their hometown scenes, what got them into vert, as we go to Ruby Lilley.
Oh, the lean disaster.
That is so scary.
It's so cool.
I'm wondering where Ruby would have cut her teeth on vert. I don't think there's a public vert ramp in Oceanside. The YMCA vert ramp was actually donated by Bryce Wettstein and her family, but it's not quite like this ramp. I believe it's only
a lot
like 8
smaller,
feet.
Yeah.
So I'd be interested to know
how
she got so good.
Interesting. Because even though, you know, Encinitas and North County San Diego is a vert mecca of the world, always has been, there's not a lot of public ramps. So the fact that she comes out here and skates this,
she's probably friends with Elliott Sloan.
Oh, maybe.
You got to make friends with Elliott Sloan.
Yeah.
And then there's the B team ramp, Mancha's ramp.
Oh yeah.
Vista, you gotta move to Vista.
Wait, doesn't Bob Burnquist have a backyard compound?
He's got a little ramp in his
No,
yard.
his ramp is cement now, which is the coolest.
Yeah, maybe a little scary.
I don't know what makes it scarier than wood.
Well, he added 6 inches of cement to it, so the transition shrank by a half foot. So now it's steep and
I didn't
cement.
think about that. Okay, yeah, I'm scared now.
And for most of us, and I'm not including the 2 people sitting next to me, most of us, when we stand on top of this ramp, it's high. It's over 13 feet. You do feel a sense of vertigo, and you really can't grasp the magnitude of this ramp on screen. In person, it's menacing, and every trick from dropping into a simple grind is gonna be an effort. It's gnarly. I mean, I can't say it enough. Like, these are superheroes right now.
Right, when we talk about big ramps, we're not just talking about the width of the ramp, which this thing is massive, but yeah, it's very tall. It's a giant transition, an 11.5-foot curve with 2 feet of vert. You're 13.5 foot off the ground before you even drop in. So, Bryce just killed it. Fakey shove and disaster.
Body burial. What? This run is like 20 minutes long.
Insane. And she did a fakie nose one in the run and going for a front nose one right there.
She's a crowd favorite for sure.
She is.
As unique on her board as she is on land.
Yeah.
She's a really creative.
Yesterday she came up to me during the semifinals. She said, "Do you think my runs have been long enough?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, you're good. You got this."
Let's talk about the shredometer on the left of your screen. Arisa Trew currently leading just barely over Asahi.
Yeah, we're going to have to get out a ruler to cut this tie.
I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. The styles are just, everyone has their own unique style, and it's just so sick.
I love that there are rules, but there are also kind of no rules, right? You don't have to do a 540 if you want to win this contest.
No.
Right.
It would help.
It always
help.
helps. But Bryce doesn't do 540s, and you don't notice.
She gets top through, and you don't notice.
All right, well, if you're watching on Twitch or YouTube, we want to know who is your favorite to win this women's final. And we have a question from Kaya. Kaya Mazzulli says, do you lose points for bailing in Vert Best Trick, even if you've landed the trick? Well, I think if you landed the trick, that wouldn't be considered a bail, but maybe we can talk a little about if you bail in your runs here in the finals, are you losing points, or is it kind of more, you can clean that up with an overall impression?
The bail doesn't, I don't think, really come into play. I mean, if you are having an off day and you're bailing like first, second wall for 5 runs during, that's going to stick a little bit, I think, in the judges' minds, but it's more just about overall impression of what you're actually doing when you're landing.
Right. I think that's true. If you bail early, they're not counting the bail, they're counting the fact that you didn't make a bunch of cool stuff that they can't give you points for.
Right.
Something we haven't addressed, which I just realized is it's stunning. There's no nerves. We're talking about teenagers skating in front of a massive audience in the house and out there online. I haven't seen one nervous face in this bunch. They are true professionals.
They're so cute.
And it's true that if you can enjoy it, you're going to do better. But it is really hard to get out there and know you got to do your best skating. Did she?
I think she did, because it looked like she dropped in and then did a little fakey pop turn.
If anybody's going to do it,
to put it into context, last year when Reese showed up at Vert Alert, she was actually in a booster seat in the car.
Yeah.
And she got out of the car, and I was like, she's in the contest?
Hey, I don't know anyone who does a cooler looking twist than that. And the body
it's
burial.
Just so textbook.
How do you get this consistent?
Don't ask me. I don't know. No, practice doesn't get you that consistent. Because I've practiced a lot.
In Australia, they are like full on. They have coaches, they have training facilities. They're just behind the athletes in action sports, and I think that's so cool.
True, and shout out to Trevor Ward from Australia, who brings these skaters to these events. He's a great guy. We've known him forever, and he's bringing Australian vert skating up.
He is. He's definitely a big factor in the talent pool that's coming from there.
Well, Arisa and Australia has to be hyped right now. You can see just edging out Asahi for now with 4 minutes and 31 seconds, but Asahi's back in, and we've started to see things kind of seesaw back and forth between our top 4 with every run they take. So remembering that this is overall impression, I mean, this is going to go down to the wire.
It really is. But I think one of the things that really comes into play, if it's close, is variety. If some of these skaters can mix it up more, it counts for a lot. Once the judges start to see the same run over and over, it starts to lose its effect.
Get a mental note of the current standings, because we're about to take those away from you. We want it to be a surprise at the end of this. So take a mental picture of that. It's gone. You're going to have to wait till our official awards ceremony, which will be hosted by Jason Ellis. That'll be after the Best Trick events. And we did have a quick vote on Twitch and YouTube. Arisa Trew has 45% of the YouTube vote and 50% of the Twitch vote. So half the people out there think Arisa is going to win this contest. That's a good call. She's going off, but we still got multiple runs to go. 3 minutes, 23 seconds to go. I would say 2 or 3 runs more each.
Rolling in? What is she doing? She can't decide what she wants to do.
She's a performer. She likes to build up the drama. We appreciate that. Another really angry skater, huh, Paul?
She's never not smiling. Wow! Being disaster.
And win, lose, or draw, she will be serenading this crowd with her ukulele after this.
That is such a good caballerial. So we talk a lot about 540s and all that. That caballerial is worth its weight in gold.
Yes.
That's just
think about the board has to stay on your feet.
Yeah, and you're
for the general person, do you no concept?
Here we go. You see the windup for something cool is about to happen.
Whoa,
something cool is about to happen.
4 setups.
Soon, very soon.
Oh, she's been wanting to go over the channel. Oh my gosh. Literally all weekend she keeps coming, I gotta do it. And then she gets sidetracked, and she just did it in her run. Commitment.
Wow.
Wow.
I think she surprised herself and the rest of the audience, which is on their feet going crazy for Bryce Wettstein right now. What a run.
That was so cool. She just, wow.
She had no business trying to stay on that ollie over the channel either. It was so sketchy, but she made it, and that's another thing. We talked about what the judges are looking for, the commitment factor. She committed, and that counts.
Every other skater in this final is cheering for her and supporting her. This is why we get emotional talking about skateboarding.
Yes.
Skating's the best.
Raicca Ventura now. There's her follow, Lindsay. You can follow her on Instagram after this.
After this. Even though this is an individual sport, you have your people, and when you're up there on the ramp with all these people who you're emotionally invested in, you know, their win is your win and their land is your land, and it's just, that's what's so cool about skateboarding.
It is a really awesome collective, and you know, the fact that we watch practice and qualifiers, and these skaters have been sessioning this ramp together the entire weekend.
Wow! Some of these skaters skated 2 contests yesterday, and then this is a 3rd. That's a lot in one weekend.
So we saw the miss on the landing, but it looked like her feet were under her board. So what happens when your board's flipping, you're trying to grab, and it somehow comes together? Is it surprising sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes it's surprising. Sometimes you accidentally mentally didn't commit before you even started, and that's hard. It's hard to get over the mental side of things, to just shut your brain off and go with it.
And those flip tricks can be so finicky. You can learn it. You could have it wired, and then in a contest, your timing is a little different because your muscles are twitchy, and you put the board on your feet too soon, and instead of it going on your feet, you kick the wheel or something, and off you go.
We're getting down to it right now. This is looking like last runs for our skaters. No timer, no scores. Judges still hawkeyeing all the action that's happening right here in the Delta Center. Thanks again to Utah, the Utah Sports Commission.
Yeah.
How cool. Usually states like to kick skateboarders out and say no. They invited this in. So we thank them so much. Reese Nelson.
Her tricks are insanity. Mike Frazier posted a clip of her kickflip nose slide over the gap the other day. It blew my mind.
Is that a best trick winning trick?
For sure. Yes.
Best trick winning trick. Something like that. Yeah. You know what I mean.
Look at the height of that.
That was
I
giant.
wish someone would have stood there so we could really see how high that was.
Not a lot
Like
of
that
people.
McTwist is face high.
Not a lot of people can air their age. Arisa can. I'd feel safe to say she can air her age. 13 years old, 13 feet. She probably did on that first hit.
Close.
I don't have a measuring tape.
No, you don't.
I don't know if she's at 13 feet.
No, not quite, but she
Well, I get
probably could
excited.
if she got a bigger quarter pipe.
Yes, she could. Asahi now was in the top 3. We'll see if she can stay there. I think you got to, start strong and finish strong, right? The judges are going to watch everything from beginning to end, all the subtleties of your runs.
The subtleties here are how smooth and buttery her tricks are.
Yeah.
It's so good.
But again, like a few of the ones that are in the top right now, they've done a very similar run each time, and so they don't have as much variety as some of the other skaters, and that's how people like Bryce cannot do 540s and still be way up there, because her variety and it's just unmatched.
Well, guess what? Just like that, like a speeding bullet train, it's over.
For the men's pro final and women's, I'll do the women's first. Relax, guys. Women's first. Okay, top 3. In 3rd place, we have Reese Nelson. Reese Nelson, after just winning best trick, 3rd place in the women's final. Get up here, Reese. Again. $1,000? 4,000? Man, we're going to Sizzler. And in 2nd place, Asahi Kaihara. Shredding all weekend. $5,000. Some of the greatest Madonnas I've ever seen. Just an excellent day of skateboarding. And then I'm very stoked to say this because she's from Australia and it's good to see her. Nice Australian get on top of the podium. Give it up for your winner, ladies and gentlemen, Arisa Trew! Taking home first place. Arisa, not only did you do that, but you also are the first female to do a 720. How do you feel today?
I'm so happy.
Is there anything you plan on doing tonight to celebrate?
No, I don't know.
Maybe Reese could buy you a pizza. She's rich.
Sure.
Give it up for these ladies, everybody. Amazing skateboarding from all of them. And of course, all the other ladies that made it into the final today qualified for X Games Summer 2023. So if you look at there it is. All those girls are now officially in X Games Summer 2023. So give it up for all these athletes, Utah, because they are going to X Games, baby.